Hi, everybody. I just wanted to make a quick video here to give a little bit of guidance related to the Manatee claim evidence reasoning assignment, where you need to decide which of the animals is the most closely related to a manatee. In particular, I want to talk about how to write the claim evidence reasoning part down here on the Google Doc, where you have to write actual paragraphs to explain yourself. One of the things that I have seen repeatedly throughout the years when I've done this is that students want to rush through everything. They oftentimes will get the right answer and they will talk quite a bit about evidence, but it's kind of just a summary. And claim evidence reasoning isn't just a summary, it's where you explain things. And so down here on the Google Doc, I've added this. This isn't on there. If you've already made a copy, then this won't be on there, but I included it in an email that I sent. Down here, I've included what I'm calling a paragraph frame, where if you kind of follow this, if you don't really know how to write the paragraphs, if you follow this, this will help you hit more details, hopefully all the details, but more details. So the first thing is that you're probably going to have a paragraph for each type of evidence. So for example, you'd start out by saying one type of evidence that I had looked at had to do with fossils or nails or behavior or whatever it is that you notice that's important, right? So this is kind of like your topic sentence of your paragraph. Then it goes on to say, I noticed something, right? This is the thing that you noticed. This is the evidence that you think is important. I noticed that the fossils all originate around 50 million years ago, right? That's a detail. That's just a fact. Then you would go on to say this shows or does not show. You would choose one of these. This shows an evolutionary relationship, or this does not show an evolutionary relationship because, and here's where then you say why that's important. So what if everything's from 50 million years ago? Something's got to be there 50 million years ago. This could be an interesting fact, but this isn't really proving an evolutionary relationship because there were lots of species out there 50 million years ago, and just because they existed at the same time doesn't mean that they're related, right? And so that's what you would be saying in this part, in the because part. Then the next sentence says, in addition, and there's another big space. And again, this is where you would just keep talking. What I just said about the whole 50 million years ago thing not being that important, that took me a couple sentences to say. So possibly you would need a few sentences there, right? I'm leaving these blanks to just, that could be anything, right? And so your job is not just to say, here's all this evidence. It's to stop and talk about each piece of evidence. One of the tricky parts of that, once you get the kind of pattern down to the pattern, is, again, this part where it says discuss all the evidence. And so don't just talk about the few things that support your claim. Talk about why some of the other stuff isn't important, right? Just then again, like the 50 million years ago thing, did not necessarily support my claim, but I might still be talking about it because it is something that is interesting or it sort of helps. But you want to talk about not just things that are good, but also the things that aren't good. So again, maybe going back to a different section, talking about the nails, that if you notice the nails or something about the nails is important between the manatee and say the hippo, you would also want to say, also, I noticed that the whale doesn't have any nails, right? Like, don't just ignore the fact that the whale doesn't have any nails. You could talk about that and say, that's how I know that it's not a whale, if that's what you think it is, right? And so you want to talk about all of the evidence, not just pick and choose the 2 or 3 things that help you the most, right? In science, we call that cherry picking the data, where you only choose the things that are helpful and you ignore all the other things that aren't helpful. Right? And so again, following this paragraph frame, I think will help you to organize all that. If you still need more help, if you want further clarification, if you want to run things by me, of course, hit me up, especially on Google Hangouts so that we can chat about it, or an email form, but somewhere or another, make sure that you are hitting all these details, and I am here to help you with that. Good luck with your investigations.